I grew up around it and visited the set as much as I could as a kid, and fell in love with the process. I loved the camaraderie. I loved the idea that a team went out to overcome each day's obstacles, and then bring back amazing visuals and make an amazing movie.
My name is Russ Willard, and I'm the founder of the Mercer Center for Experimental Physics, which was constructed here beneath the town of Mercer, Ohio, and which is referred to locally as the Loop. Its purpose? To unlock and explore the mysteries of the universe. As a result of our unique research, you will see here sights that, well, you'd say were impossible. And yet, there they are.
My father was a renowned cinematographer who photographed the original Blade Runner, amongst many other movies. And so I was exposed to the industry and then cinematography very early on. Graduated from the USC School of Film, and then started working in the industry. And a lot of that work was with my dad. We used to do this thing after we wrapped. I'd always wait an hour or two, and I'd get a phone call from him. And even as the master that he was, when you're pushing the envelope and breaking boundaries, there's an inherent fear of going too far. And this was with film. And so the margin of error was very, very small. And so I always used to joke and call it the exposure trauma phone call. And it was just him talking through with me about what we had photographed that day and what our confidence level is that we had not gone too far. And so that was very kind of humbling and a great education for me that as long as you are pushing the boundaries, there are no for certainties, but that never inhibited him or stopping it from doing the same thing the next day. And so I tried to model myself after him in the sense that, risks that are worth taking, take and embrace fear, because it keeps you on edge and on point and progressive. And in thinking about cinematography and what kind of philosophies I applied to light and composition, I feel like I got a majority of that from my father and watching his work. Is you start with the story. It's all about the story, and we're there to enhance that experience, to give a better, more believable situation for actors to perform in, light that enhances moods and creates mystery when necessary, and all those wonderful things that we can bring to the screen. The biggest challenge all the time seems to be not getting in the way of that. It's very easy to overdo things and to pull out a lot of tricks and to make things sensational. But if it done in the right kind of climate, that's a wonderful thing. And not, then it can take away from the story itself or the characters. You want to do a read through the first time kind of uninhibited. I have to not overly think about what it will be until I have an opportunity to explore what the director's vision is and what how he perceived the project. And then from there you can build the visual language, bring your ideas to it, make things better and grow. When I start to see the locations, and when I start to see the wardrobe, and when I see the sets coming to get together, and all the ideas and all the color palettes that we've gone through start to materialize, then it's a much easier thing for me to wrap my head around about what I can do to enhance that experience that much more. And then of course you always want to be prepared on the day when an actor changes a scene or his blocking or finds something better, or somebody adds something that you hadn't thought of before, and be able to go with the flow. When Mark Romanek called me for Tales of the Loop, I was very excited about the opportunity. Mark and I have a long history. We go back to heyday of music videos and commercials, and then I shot 1 hour photo with him. We kind of worked through the tempo and the pace and the storylines and how best to embrace that, and kind of all arrived at this very kind of Scandinavian tempoed piece. And by that I mean shots that last a little longer, light that felt more organic and motivated by practicals or windows. And so we started reviewing and remembering some of our favorite directors and films in that genre, and names like Bergman and Tchaikovsky and Kalowski all came up. Challenges in Tales from the Loop was the environment that it took place in, the locations. We found wonderful locations in Winnipeg with lots and lots of snow, which was really important for our episode. The landscape and topography was really stunning. Very broad open fields of snow, lots of trees, farmhouses, and a great small town. So that's where we settled on the location to shoot. But in that, it brought several more challenges. One, the quality of light, the length of days, and the temperature, which was below minus 30 Fahrenheit, which is really cold. So that combined with our episode had 2 children in about 90% of the scenes. The kids could only be on set for a certain amount of time, and then you add in the temperatures that we were working in, and you have to give time for people to get warm and be safe. And so our days were limited. And then an extra burden was that a lot of there was a dozen scenes that take place at night. And so nighttime in the winter, in the cold, and with the restrictions of the time the kids could be on set, proved to be a huge obstacle. But during our prep and during our scouts, I discovered that the sunsets were at least an hour long of magic hour or dusk. And so I approached Mark with the notion that we do all of our night stuff in the rich kind of cool blue dusk of winter evenings in the north. What that meant is that we'd have to block out, rehearse, stage multiple cameras in multiple directions to kind of achieve the scene or scenes that we were trying to accomplish in that window, which was about an hour. The first time we tried to do it, I wasn't comfortable that we'd make it. So we had all the traditional night exterior condors with lamps and lighting the forest and equipment on the ground and all cabled out and blocked out. And we rehearsed, blocked, and then when it came time to when the light was right and we shot, we actually finished earlier. And it was quite beautiful, mesmerizing. It gave us a lot of depth in the sky. It silhouetted and brought out the trees so they didn't disappear into the sky, and just gave a scale to it that we might be missing if we had actually done it at night. I love the craft of cinematography and making stories because it's such a creative outlet, and it's never the same. Every day there's new challenges, and even though you think you've got something down, there are so many obstacles and challenges that arrive every day that it keeps you on your toes, and you are always trying to scramble to find solutions to challenges that come up.